Hey, what's up guys? Garden here, coming to you guys with a brand new series to the channel. So we are going to be doing my collection videos. Yeah, this is something I've been working towards as of recently, and I am ready to finally start doing it. So we are going to be showing off my collections for the three clans that I currently own at the moment, which is Royal Paladin, Gold Paladin, and recently added Oracle Think Tank. So OTT, I recently added to my arsenal of clans just because I wanted a Protect clan, and I also kind of found it cool that OTT was part of the United Sanctuary, so it kind of fit with Golds and Royals. And honestly, it was the Magus archetype that kind of made me want to pick them up as well. So then once I got that core, I then decided to finish the collection off, and then I was just, working towards getting the Royal Paladin and the Gold Paladin collections finalized and put everything in order. So yeah, we're going to start this series off, of course, with Royal Paladin. And this is going to be from Trial Deck 1 all the way to V-BT05. So the V-Series IG Trial Deck, all the way to when Ganslot came out, essentially. And there is a couple of things I am missing, so this isn't a complete collection. I'm still missing 3 full art versions of the Flogel and the Elaine, the foil versions from the Psyqualia Strife set, and I'm also missing one more Escalpate for the 4 player set. But besides from that, I pretty much have everything else. And like I said in my review video for the binder that I did recently, I don't collect like the really high rarity stuff like the SBRs of the units, but I do want to confirm that I do actually have the markers. I have like the Aichi markers, the Blastalblade marker, stuff like that, but we'll get to those later on. And also I do have like the higher rarity Blaster Blades that came out in the first year, just because I got very lucky with my trial deck, got the signed version of Blaster Blade, and decided to pick the rest of them up as well. So with that introduction out of the way, let's get stuck into the collection, and we'll go through this at a moderate pace. I do kind of want to give most of the cards a time to shine in this video. But yeah, let's start with the trial deck. So of course we were introduced with Alfred Early, which we have the foil version up here and the common version. The lighting, unfortunately, I am using the outside lighting because it's the best way I can get the video to look. But yeah, this is the best sort of setup I can do at the minute. I've actually got the binder mounted on like a pillow behind it. So yeah, it gives you guys a better angle of the cards. But we have the Star Drive Dragon down here, pretty much forgotten since the trial deck and the first set came out. But yeah, Alfred Early, always love remembering this because this was like the first reveal that we got for Royal Paladin, like when the V-Series got announced. So it's always a nice memory. Then we have the rest of the trial deck. We've got Galatine, who returns with a cool new art. Blastalblade had 2 alternate artworks. We had the foil versions of them, and then this one had a common version. Interestingly, they haven't printed this version yet in a common yet, which makes me think if they might reprint this at some point. But I don't know, because as far as I'm aware, you can only get this version and the signed version from the trial deck. So yeah, there you go. We have Joran, which was the 15k attacker. Wingle, pretty cool. Still somewhat used, I think. Wingle, he's still usable. Then we have the infamous Alan, who was in Royal Paladin decks for a really long time. We've got the foil and the common. Then we have the Trial Deck Perfect Guard. Really loved this change when the V-Series came in. Gave Trial Decks 4 Perfect Guards to work with, so you didn't have to worry too much about that when it came to like defending. But yeah, the Draw PGs, as we know, we needed a reprint of those essentially once all of them were out, because the older ones started getting more difficult to get. But fortunately, we do have that festival collection coming out. So yeah, but I did like this this new mindset they had with the PGs instead of like the old days. Then we have Falcon, Glime, and then we had the triggers, of course, Epelner, Flogel, Margle, and Elaine. So that's really cool to see, all with brand new art. So, going into the first booster set, which was V-BT01, we had King of Knights Alfred return, which, I'll be honest, he's probably like one of my favourite arts of like all the clan. Yeah, just the flames on the horse and the way he just looks, it just looks so cool. Definitely one of my favourite Royal Paladin art from the V-Series. Then we have Soul Saver and Akane. Soul Saver is still somewhat used today, in fact. I did a deck profile with her and Ganslot recently, so that's pretty cool. It's quite nice to see some of like the older cards from like 2 years ago actually still usable today. Which, speaking of, Conjurer Mithril is still somewhat a usable card, as well as Merrin and the Draw PG, of course. But yeah, we have these in rarity order as well, by the way. So we have like Vanguard rare, triple rares, and then double rares, going into the rares, and then the commons, just so you know. But yeah. I've got the draw PGs in here because obviously with us being quarantined at the minute, we can't really do much with our decks. So I thought, hey, it's a great opportunity to put my deck cards into the binder and show off the entire collection. So yeah, pretty nice. But we do have reprints of the draw PGs coming out soon, which would be really, really nice. Help build some more decks, hopefully, and some more jank decks, more budget builds and stuff like that, which would be cool for other clans. Then we have the rares, Funagol, Morgana. I love Morgana's new art. Absolutely loved this when it came out. Pongal, of course. What do we have here? We have the commons. Most of these I don't think are used particularly. Stallion actually is quite a lot in the early days, just because it was a 7k. So you could actually damage deny Oracle Think Tank with their, forget what it's called, Circle Magus, I think it is, where you counterblast the draw. So that could actually potentially damage deny the Oracle Think Tank player, and also it was a 10k booster for like Akane or your Vanguard, so it was pretty nice. Pretty nice card. And Bernius as well I used a little bit, because it was like a 13k attacker, which paired up nicely with the Stallion. I kind of remember that deck. I think it was in October that I did it. Can't really remember, but yeah. Then we are going to feed into Mini Booster 1 with, of course, Esculpate, which I am missing the 4th one, but I'll get that at a later date. That is fine. Then we have Benon and Xenon, which the prices of these cards are so cheap, man. They're both triple rares and they're worth like pennies. It's ridiculous, but yeah, I mean, if you want to help finish the collections off, it's not too much of an ache to get them, which is nice. Then we had reprints of Alfred Early and Blaster Blade in the alternate artwork in double rare form, which was actually pretty cool. So different rarities as well. Again, I do apologize for the lighting, but the outside lighting was much better to show off the collection because it just looks more clean, more brighter. But yeah, it's not too great to show the foils off, but it's more about just going through the cards, not showing like the foils or anything. But yeah. Speaking of, we have Alan up here who came in double rare, which I actually quite like this version over the triple rare because it actually went with Merrin, who was a double rare as well. So kind of got a bit of symmetry going on there with the foils. And then we had this was the start deck grade 3, like the very start deck when the game, like the standard was like just coming out. And yeah, this was like the first official printing I got. In fact, I actually forgot about this card because I didn't own it, so I had to order it. And yeah, there it is. It's the official printing now of the card. Then we have Bernius reprint in rare. Jorman and Wingle came in a rare as well, and the Trial Deck Perfect Guard. I will say about these Perfect Guards, I think I did use them in my premium deck at one point, but yeah, because you could actually use that with the G-Guard Merrin to call it from the deck, so that was pretty cool. So they were still somewhat usable, so that's pretty nice. Then Galtine had a printing in common. I don't know why they did common again, but I think they did it with like all the cards in the mini booster set, like the special reprints. Like they got a common and a foil version. Mirubiru, which I had no idea this came in foil, so you had a common and then a foil. Had no idea had a foil version. I think I somewhat remember, but I just completely forgot about it. But yeah. And then we have the special cards in the set. So Gleim, the starter, and all the triggers got 4 different printings. So we had the regular common version, we had the foil version, and then we had the full art common, and then the full art foil. Yeah, that's a lot of Gleims. That's a lot of Gleims to own. But yeah, that's what you get when you try to finish off a set for a collection. So there you go. Same thing goes with the triggers. So we got Epelna here in all the different rarities. This one was like the first one that I did because a lot of people at my locals actually ended up pulling the Epelna from their packs. So I was able to pick them up easily. And I think the other one that I completed was Margle. But as you can see, Flogel, I'm missing 3 copies of the full art foil. I haven't even checked yet to how difficult they are to get. But I will get them like the Esculpate. I'll get those in the future at some point. Then we have Margle, of course, which I was able to complete. I was missing 2 of them, but again, these weren't that difficult to get. They're quite cheap as well, so there you go. And then we have, of course, Elaine, which I think, if anything, Elaine's probably going to be the more difficult one to find if I take a guess, but there you go. So that is the mini booster set, and then that leads us into set 3. So this is V-BT03, Miyagi Academy, and yeah, this was where Monarch Alpha came out, and 2 of the best support units that Royal Paladin had gotten from Standard, which is Bedivere and K. Like, these cards, like, Man, these are going to be usable for a long time. It's going to be quite a while before these get power crept. I still feel like these are always going to be nice utility tools to have in any Royal Paladin deck, for that matter. So it's going to be a good while before these two become like sort of irrelevant, or there's just like better cards to use than them. But yeah, and then we also had the Monarch Alfred, of course, the VR for Royal Paladin. I was so happy with this when it got revealed, because the real thing that I wanted for a new upgrade was a Vanguard that had a critical effect to go with it, because we had the power to pressure, but we just didn't have any crit pressure besides some of our triggers. So yeah, I was really happy when we got that. Really, really happy. And yeah, we also got some Soul Saver support with Palamedes, Dream Painter, which were double rares. We got this like really weird like rare, which I don't think saw any player Emrys, but I always like the art because it reminds me of Fallon from Liberators from back in the day. So that's a thing. We had a few more soul support cards like Lucius and Rendering Angel, which would call a card through its skill, which was good for Dream Painter. That's pretty cool. Then we had this guy, Imposter Altmile, essentially. It's quite funny because I saw this card actually being played in the Altmile deck as sort of like a tech choice. So I don't know how exactly usable it's going to be, but it's quite funny to see how this card is sort of like being played in the Altmile deck, because you can search it. And it essentially just gets a really big shield. Like, that's what it does. It's just a really big shield unit, so that's pretty cool. And then we had some offset commons. Like, I don't think most of these saw any play. I know that this Shift Gal saw some play, because I had a Vanguard and Rearguard skill, and he could filter, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't think much of the others saw much play. Right, so this was the final card in set 3, and then that feeds us into my high rarity Blaster Blades. So this was the Trial Deck Blaster Blade that I got on my video, which I still recall that. It's so I go back to it every now and then just because it's like my reaction. I was just so happy that day. It was so cool. We got the Origin Rare and the Image Rare from set 1, and then we had the alternate art Blaster Blade from set 3. So that's why I decided to put them there, because it sort of ended after set 3. So I thought I'd put it in that position. And also, it looks pretty cool because it feeds us into the Blaster support that we got from Extra Booster 6, Light of Salvation, Logic of Destruction. Long-winded name, but that's what they decided to call it. So there you go. So yeah, we had a Messianic Lord Blaster. We had Arc Saver Dragon, Blaster Arrow, and Blaster Rapier. So yeah, we had a really cool collection of blasters come out. Premium was very happy with this because we had more blaster names to play with. But yeah, Messianic is this card is just a meme. Like, he's literally just a meme card. He's actually still usable because I think the new stride we're getting in 2020 allows you to still use your grade 3's abilities. So you can actually keep the 6 crit if you're able to meet the condition. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just, I just love the blaster support because like these will always remain usable. And I think they're even like looking at being even more usable now because of the MLB set coming out this year. Like the actual Majesty Lord Blaster. So that's pretty cool as well. So we have Javelin and Dagger as well. Then we had a couple of other weirder cards. Feather Dragon was actually pretty nice. Quite nice for some budget builds, potentially. And it's a decent card. You know, it's got Van and Rhea skill, so it's okay. It's a rare. And then we had Belk and Tana, which were, I mean, they're not great, are they? But the funny thing is that they got improved because of Altmile. Because you can search both of them together, so that's pretty funny as well. It's funny how these future cards are just making these older cards a little bit better. Like, I can't see these being played, but it's the fact that you can play them and they can perform better than they were before. That's hilarious to me. So yeah, so I believe that's the end of that set. So now we have the final set that we got for Royal Paladin, which was V-BT05, which was where Ganslot came out. And oh boy, this set was a nightmare for me at the time because I had the Ganslot stuff and all the other Royal Paladin cards to get. But then I also had a Gold Paladin as well. So yeah, fortunately, I was actually quite happy with Gold Paladin not getting much in this set because Royal Paladin had a lot. You'll see how nutty this set was in terms of the support wave. There are so many decent cards in here, it's insane. So of course we had Ganslot, which as I remember at the time when it got revealed, everyone lost their minds. But yeah, it was just a solid support card for the clan. Gave you that critical pressure of a Blaster Blade, gave it the extra power, and made it a Vanguard, so it could get the extra drive check, which is really cool. So you were essentially doing a triple drive during your turn, the twin drive from the Vanguard and the drive check from the Blaster Blade, so that's pretty cool. And we would start to see an influx of this sort of idea of getting extra drive checks at this point, I think. Because from that point onwards, I think majority of clans started getting this. So set 5 was essentially sort of like when the power creep sort of coming in a bit more. It's like, knocking up an extra level. So that's pretty cool. We had Gordon, which he's all right, but it's like, yeah, I do like the fact that he's usable with the Blaster Blade and the Alt Mile to search them. But at the very most, I think I use like 1 or 2 of them at most. But yeah, that's about it. Tristan I love because this will always be relevant because it's a Blaster Blade searcher, so I mean, you can't go wrong with that. In fact, it's getting a reprint in the MLB set as well, so that's pretty cool. Then we have some double res. We have Baron, who are sages, by the way. And by the way, I'm just going to say this now. If they could make like a grade 3, like a budget grade 3, that like it synergizes with units that have sage in their name, you know what I mean? With sage in their name. Because we have Merrin as well. We have Byron from the first trial deck. I'm just saying, we've got a handful of sages in Royal Paladin, so that would be pretty cool if they could make like sort of like an offset sage deck. Give that like 1 or 2 cards to mess with. That would be pretty fun, I feel. So yeah, but yeah, Byron I used for a little bit in Ganslot, and we have Baron. These names, I swear, they just tongue twist me all the time. So. Baron I used recently in my Soul Server Ganslot deck, which is actually performing pretty well. He's quite a flexible card. Soul Guiding Elf, I've seen some play for it, but not much. It's okay, I suppose. Then we have Hangist, who is quite a nice alternative win condition for some decks that I've seen. I know that one of my friends was actually trying to build a deck with him in mind, so yeah, not too bad for a rare. Then we have Lamrock, who was the old 10k vanilla from way back in the day. He was like an alternative to Galatine. But yeah, he's actually pretty good because he's not once per turn, and he counterblasts to gain 10,000 power if you have 5 or more units. So again, it's quite cool to see cards like this being improved because, of course, you want to put all your counterblast face down and Alt Mile to get the skills active. So he's actually pretty usable in that situation. Unicorn was sort of like an indirect Soul Saver support, which was pretty cool. Then we had the upgraded PGs come out, so you could ride them on the Vanguard, and then you could draw a card and discard a card. So more filtering to make up for the fact that you rode a PG, which is pretty cool. These essentially upgraded the old Perfect Guards, because I use those on my premium deck as well. Then we had Pluck Enchanter. Oh boy, the countercharger that Royal Paladin were asking for. It's restricted to Blaster Blade, but I mean, come on, what were you expecting? So... yeah, the infamous countercharger that Royal Paladin were crying for, we got that in this set as well. This is why I wanted to spend a bit more time on the set, because it's like, there's so much stuff in here that's like usable and good. Speaking of, we have a common here, Filled Feather Dragon. This card, I underrated it. I never took notice of it, and the card's insane. It's legit just a +4. The card was also good for the Messianic Lord Blaster deck, because you could legit just... instead of playing Arc Save or anything else, you could just play this, get a +4, and then call some blasters to the field, and hopefully have more of a chance to get all the different names. So, yeah, this card used it for a good amount of time with Ganslot as well. Really, really strong, really good, and it's a common. Like, wow, it's a common, and it's that good. Then we have the 12k vanilla, the Loading Angel, again another common that's really good, insane, and Intercepting grade 1, weird but okay. Then we had a couple other. I can't even remember this guy. I think he just gains power. Yeah, for a Soul Blast. I didn't really play it, and I don't think he got played that much. But yeah. Then we have Barkle. Speaking of dogs, I can hear one outside. Hope you can't hear it. But yeah, we have Barkle. Loved Barkle coming back. This is my starter and always will be, unless it's like. I mean, with Alt Mile, I'll probably use the Alt Mile starter just with the theme and the feel, but yeah, whatever. And then we had the triggers reprinted again. And now something about these triggers, I don't know if it's just me, but they look a bit darker than the older ones. So I just used these more often. And then of course we had Lou come into the game as well. So we had the 3 different critical triggers that we could play with. So we could play 12 crit if we wanted to. So that's pretty nice. And then finally we have the markers. So I decided to put these in order in terms of sort of when they came out-ish with like each of the different rarity. So the trial deck stuff, this is like a promo from set 1. Mini booster, set 3, of course, these 2. The extra booster, this was a box topper. This is like a foil version of the Force 1 marker. This was a box topper, I think, from set 5. The Ganslot and the Aichi marker from set 5. So yeah, decided to put all those in there so you could see those. And then finally, we just have some spare stuff at the back. And then the Force 2, which came in set 6, I believe. But yeah, so that is essentially my Royal Paladin collection. So yeah, just over 20 minutes. That's around about what I was expecting for this type of video. But yeah, that is essentially it. So that was Trial Deck 1 all the way to set 5. And that, I believe that was like, what was that, like a year or 2? I think it's like a year, yeah, for this collection. Because Royal Paladin stopped getting support essentially after set 5, and the next wave was essentially going to be the Alt-Mile Trial Deck. So that's the next thing to look forward to, which is in fact coming out next month, on the 26th, I believe, of June. Yeah, June. Yeah, because the set for Alt-Mile, the next stage, that comes out on July 10th now, because both of them got delayed slightly. But yeah, that is it for the set. I hope you guys enjoyed the collection video and going through a couple of older stuff as well as looking at the recent stuff that we got. And yeah, this is a nice rundown memory lane. And yeah, we are going to do Gold Paladin as well as the Oracle Think Tank as well. Still waiting for a couple of things for OTT, but that'll be within the next month or 2 that I'll have that finished. But I'm planning on doing that one just before the Susano set comes out. And then the Gold Paladin one, I'm planning to do not too long, like relatively soon, but we'll see. But yeah, I wanted to start the series off with Royal Paladin, since this is my main clan, of course. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So that's going to be me. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment down below, tell me what you think. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So like always, guys, take care. And this is Guardian, signing out.